It is time to reawaken this industrial giant, to get government back within its means, and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise. I can hear you! I can hear you! The rest of the world hears you! And the people are going to be falling down. I'll hear all of us.
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in, except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElephantRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas Liberty. So glad you can join me today on this Thank You, Jesus. It's a Friday, going live on RER video YouTube channel only. Still don't know what the problems are with Facebook. And still having a little bit of difficulty with the RER video YouTube channel. So gonna try to get them worked on over the weekend and see if we can get everything worked out. Don't have a clue. Gonna have to get that genius Daniel Miller to help me out, I do believe. But this is what happens, man. I guess you guys are the bosses. You want this video thing, so here I am with this video thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. You guys are the bosses. I'm going to give it a little bit longer on this video thing. Lord have mercy. Today's program it's stacked, and I do mean it is stacked. James Quintero, the Texas Public Policy Foundation, is going to join me. Angela, the box that rocks, the irrepressible one. And we're going to have ourselves a visit via postcard by the hot ticket, Tina Moody Bryan. It's going to be by postcard. I was going to play it yesterday, ran out of time, and then all of a sudden I said, well, the hot ticket usually comes on Fridays anyway. She's on some Greek Isle somewhere, she and Timbo. So she sent us a video postcard, and you're not going to believe it when you see it. Tina is crazy. I usually don't care about offices up in Washington, Devil City. You guys know this. But I saw these polling numbers, and I love polling numbers. So I decided, let me focus on, let me share these polling numbers with you. I think you're going to find them interesting. It deals with the cruise missile, Senator Theodore Cruz, going up against Beto the Punk. It's okay to call him a punk, the Democratic Party nominee for the U.S. Senate for Washington, Devil City, because, well, he's a former punk rocker. So I guess it's appropriate to go ahead and call him Beto the Punk. I think it's properly pronounced Beto. I like calling him Beto. And when I was in Austin a couple of weeks ago, listening to the local R&B station, there was a commercial for Beto, and he was not shy about naming his opponent. Usually, when you have a campaign ad, the candidate doesn't want you to know who the opponent is, doesn't want to elevate their name ID. But Beto the punk had no problems in saying, and I'm running against Ted Cruz. I'm running against Ted Cruz. This article has some other good tidbits in it. From Politico, Republican Senator Ted Cruz holds a 6-point lead over Democratic Representative Beto O'Rourke in the Texas Senate race, according to a Quinnipiac University poll released on Wednesday. I'm just going to say off the bat before I even go any further in the article, I don't believe these numbers. Let me go through the article and I'll tell you why. Cruz had the support of 49% of respondents compared to 43% for O'Rourke, with just 6% undecided according to the poll. That's a slightly tighter race than in May, when Quinnipiac showed Cruz with an 11-point lead. I don't believe that number. I don't believe that number either. I'll tell you why. Stick around, don't cut the stream. Both polls were of registered voters. Quinnipiac typically moves to a more restrictive likely voter screen later in the summer. Half of voters, 50%, approve of the job Cruz is doing, compared to 42% who disapprove. O'Rourke had a 33% favorability compared to 23% unfavorable, but nearly half of voters didn't know enough to form an opinion about the Democratic congressman. See, spoiler alert, that's one reason right there why I don't believe these numbers that Cruz only has a 6-point lead. I'm just going to tell you right now, I believe it's a lot larger than that. I do believe it's double digits, and I believe it's a lot closer to the numbers I'm going to share with you later on in the article. Like right now. In the gubernatorial race, Republican Governor Greg Abbott maintained a strong lead over Democrat Lupe Valdez. Lupe. That's who he's running against. That's the Democratic Party nominee for governor here in Texas. Who is she? A former Dallas County sheriff. Well, she's more than that, Politico. She's Lupe Sanctuary City's sheriff of Dallas County, former Dallas County sheriff. This would be like Sanctuary Sally, the sheriff from Travis County, running against Gregory for governor. It's going to be a wipeout, a total 100% wipeout. Lupe versus Governor Spine of Overcooked Linguini, and Gregory should take it. Abbott had 51% support compared to 38% for Valdez. That was tighter than in May, when Quinnipiac showed Abbott leading by 19 percentage points. President Donald Trump's approval rating was slightly underwater in the Lone Star State, with 46% of voters approving of the president's performance and 49% disapproving. In the Senate race, voters listed immigration as the top issue, followed closely by the economy and health care. Quinnipiac surveyed 1,118 Texas voters from July 26 through 31 with a margin of error of plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. I don't believe these numbers. I don't believe it's this close. You guys remember in 2016 when the polls were showing Hillary was only down by 1 point to President Donald. He ended up winning by 8 or 9 points. Yes, the margin was closer than presidential races and off-cycle or midterm races in a long time. That was the closest presidential race in a long time. Trump versus Hillary. And Democrats will tout that, and Democrats will raise money on that, but Donald Trump wasn't the highest vote getter in the 2016 presidential election cycle. Usually how voting patterns go, the races at the top of the ballot get more votes, more total votes than races down ballot. That wasn't the case in 2016. When there's more votes at the top than there are at the bottom, those votes at the bottom is called the undervote. And those races down ballot that have less votes cast than the one at the top, it's called an undervote. In 2016, we had an overvote. Donald Trump wasn't the largest vote getter, and the presidential race wasn't the race that had the most votes cast. The largest vote getter was Supreme Court Justice Eva Guzman. And she won her race something like 16, 17 points. Something more akin to what Abbott was leading Valdez back in May by 19 percentage points. They were saying Hillary was only down 1 point. Everybody knew it was fake, it was phony, because Hillary didn't touch down in Texas. Believe you me, unlike Minnesota, Michigan, or Wisconsin, if there was any chance that Hillary could win Texas, she would have been here 24/7, 365. The Democrats only come in here to raise money. That's all they do, is raise money and take that money to support where they can win in other places. They can't win here on a statewide basis, won't win here on a statewide basis. If the RNC and the Texas GOP would do its job and expand the voting base with voters of color, Democrats won't win here for generations. They won't win here for generations, but it has to be done now. If Hillary was only down by 1 point to Trump in 2016, more money would have been poured in here. Hillary only put in about $100,000 more when that poll came out, that fake phony poll of her only being down 1 point, and never came in here and campaigned. Never came in here and campaigned. And I'm telling you right now, this idea of Beto the punk only being down to Ted Cruz by a mere 6 points, don't believe it. It's double digits. I'm guaranteeing you it's double digits. The day of the election, they always underpoll Texas, and I'm telling you, the day of the election, when votes are cast, the Cruz missile is going to cruise to another 6-year term and another $1 million in his bank account. Because that's what a term is worth, Saints and Patriots. When a senator wins a term, getting paid $174,000 a year, that is $1 million into their bank account, plus the bennies, plus the expense account that they have as well, $4 to $6 million a year in expense account. I wouldn't sweat it. And I'm telling you right now, Gregory Abbott is going to obliterate Loopy. Loopy has no chance whatsoever. A sanctuary city's sheriff, that should be great. That should be totally outstanding. I want to see how badly he does beat her. And then we got to find somebody to primary his buttocks in 2022, because he needs to go. We got 2 more sessions with this guy. The other thing that I find to be absolutely profound, the number one issue, the top issue, continues to be the invasion. Voters listed immigration as the top issue, followed by the economy and healthcare. The top issue in Texas U.S. Senate voters, the border invasion, and that's why he hit it so hard, and that's why I'm on President Donald so hard about not doing the job he promised to do on border security. He was talking about it again last night. He wants to blame everybody else but himself. It's his job. If Congress will not change the laws, if it's truly a national security issue, then the chant shouldn't be build a wall. The chant should be send in the Marines. Send in the Marines. Raging Elephants Radio, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Number one issue, the border invasion. I'm going to be on it like a red dog on red meat. This is your Texas network. Don't cut the stream, y'all.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Your grassroots political organization may benefit from having your own internet radio program. RagingElePhantsRadio.com can help you achieve that. By having your own RER program, you can personally inform your members and supporters of the top issues in your community and grow the size of your organization. Starting your own RER show isn't as hard as you think or as costly as you think. To get started, go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com and click the Advertise on RER button for a list of prices. Or you can email us, sales@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Have your voice heard? Have your own show on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office property since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy-efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down, see the share icon, hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas Patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Sometimes I force myself to watch the Morning Morons over on MSDNC. MSNBC. And I forced myself to watch this morning, and I was not disappointed. Their theme has not changed, but they continuously go over the top over there, and it was unconscionable this morning. They basically are saying that Donald Trump is insane, and so are you Trumpkins. I'm actually gonna play that video a little bit later. If you want to see it, you're gonna have to go to the RER Video YouTube channel. And speaking of news organizations, you guys may have seen this. I wanted to go through this a little bit more detailed. TV's most trusted news brands from Research Intelligencer. Research Intelligencer. TV's most trusted news brands. This has been all over the Foxies. You're not going to see it on BSNBC. You're not going to see it on the Communist News Network. The Collusion News Network. You're not going to see it. Most trusted TV news brands based on 4,012 TV viewers. 90% of those think that the BBC is a trusted TV news brand. Top of the list, number one as trusted TV news brands. Then Fox News, then PBS, then Bloomberg, then MSDNC at number 5. Then CBS, then NBC, then ABC, and then down at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 9 is CNN, then Sinclair at number 10. Then they throw Trump in there. Had to put a jab in there. Trump is not a news brand. He's not a news organization. But they got it in there. The first 3 I find, well, the first 4 I really find interesting. First, the BBC and PBS. Do you consider those to be trusted news sources? Both of them, BBC and PBS, those are government channels, Saints and Patriots. If you watch BBC and PBS, I don't think they watch I don't think these people watch BBC and PBS. I don't think so. Because they would know that it's left-leaning is just as bad as MSDNC, it's just as bad as the Communist News Network, just as bad. The difference is, as far as the BBC is concerned, they spew their leftist propaganda with a British accent. And in oral tones that are some sort of equivalency of chamomile tea. Very soothing, will put you to sleep. They're going basically on reputation, but they're leftist. It's quality programming, but it's leftist, no question about it. Just as left as the Communist News Network. PBS. Are they going to do anything, any kind of expose exposing, well, probably the Trump administration, but it's leftist. It's pro-government. That's how they get funded, is through the government. Bloomberg I found to be interesting. I love Bloomberg TV. But it's a business network. They don't do hardcore news. It's money centric is what it is. Love their weekend programming. Enterprise centric, edgy. I love it. If I could do something audio to match what Bloomberg does visually, I love Bloomberg. But it's leftist. It's leftist as well. It's Michael Bloomberg. What do you think? But down at the bottom, CNN. I wonder if they still play that promo, that quick drop. I don't know what they call it in TV. CNN, the most trusted name in news. No, you're not. You're a liar if you say that. We all know that. When I play this video for you later on from MSDNC, from BSNBC, just unconscionable the things that they say about the president and those who support him. Just unconscionable. I don't see how BSNBC is even up this high at number 5. I don't understand that. Those people are awful. They should be right down there with the Communist News Network. Fox News is really the only big corporate media that's up there that 87% say they trust them as a for-profit media organization, news organization. Bloomberg is business. And I hope you guys trust us when it comes to your Texas news. At least we're very transparent and we're open about the fact that we're biased. We are biased media and proud of it. We are biased towards liberty, life, liberty, prosperity. Texas first. Most of us around here are for Texas independence. I am. I will continue to be a strong advocate of Texas independence. And so when we're looking at news here, we're looking at it from the perspective of the liberty movement. We are the voice of the liberty movement. We are the voice of the majority voting bloc in the Lone Star State, the liberty-driven voter, the grassroots GOP voter. That's who our constituency is. That's who our information consumer is. And that's who we intend to serve. And I hope you guys are appreciating it. Coming up on 5 years being in business, we got a long way to go, but thanks to you guys, we still are in business. Unless, of course, you do have a small business or a large business, we could certainly use your advertising support. The Box That Rocks is up next. Don't go anywhere. You know, she always turns it out. The Box That Rocks, Angela Box, is up next. Raging Elephants Radio, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Hi there, my name is Mark Cranenberg and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about my favorite order from Chicago Steak Company. It's the Classic Prime Assortment. Alright, well let's open up and have a look what's inside. So right away we've got two 6-ounce filet mignons. If you know anything about steak, it's really rare to see filet mignons with that kind of marbling in it. Just beautiful steak. And then next we've got the two 12-ounce USDA prime strip steaks. Just look at how thick these things are. They're just beautiful. Again, beautifully marbled, amazing steak. Then we've got two USDA prime ribeyes. And if you like steak that is just mouth-watering, this is the steak for you. With all that marbling inside, you'll see it's thicker. The marbling is a lot thicker. That just means more moisture throughout your steak. Now we've got 6 USDA prime top sirloin steaks. These are the steaks that everyone's gonna love. Then we're moving into our next package. Next we have 16 4-ounce gourmet Angus steak burgers. These are amazing burgers that everyone's gonna love. And to top it all off, they give you one container of my favorite steak seasoning of all time, the Chicago Steak Spice. And you're gonna love it too. So there you have the Classic Prime Assortment, my favorite and your ultimate steak experience. So be sure to order your steak today at mychicagosteak.com. I'm Mark. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time at mychicagosteak.com.
Visit Chicago Steak Company through the RER Marketplace.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
The battle for liberty rages in every Texas community, none more so than in the nation's 4th largest city, Houston, Texas. A tyrannical mayor denies the right to vote to the citizens of the city, signs executive orders that violate the Texas Constitution and the charter of the city, and issues subpoenas for the sermons of pastors. And when the frontline leaders against the mayor's totalitarian agenda wanted a broadcast partner for their Faith, Family, and Freedom tour, who did they request? RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
For promoting this issue from day one. I want to recognize my friend Claver and the folks over at Raging Elephants over here. He was on it from day one. Every single week this man talks about this issue. And so thank you, Claver, for never giving in, never backing down, and continuing to be that loud conservative voice.
RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Claver, your favorite political flavor. Always giving it to you straight, no chaser. Welcome, Saints and Patriots, to your Texas network. It's a thank you, Jesus. It's Friday, and pretty much anything goes on a Friday. Just so happy to be cutting the change for the week. I got a birthday party to go to tonight. Speaking of parties, that would be Angela Box's cue to come in. Raging Elephants Radio contributor. What's going on, Box?
I do. Oh, what? But I just posted. I hope people will tune in. I literally, my bad. I've been so crazy this week. I forgot. I'm glad you texted me, darling. I'm here.
Oh, you're always crazy, Box. Always.
I know.
I'm glad you
I know.
Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. In the first segment, you know, we missed last week. There were some things I wanted to talk to you about last week, and we didn't get a chance to chat. And I'll catch up with you on those for the next segment. But the first segment is this article you sent over to me about the condition of California. and it was
Right.
you linked to it on your Twitter account, and it's about how bad California really has become, and those that once lived in California and have left California and go back and visit California, they can't believe how bad it really is. And I guess the same condition can be said about for you too, Angela. I mean, you went out there for a little while to pursue your dreams, the land of opportunity.
Not just a little while. I was there almost 15 years.
Wow.
So I was there a long time.
Well, you're almost cured. You're almost cured from.
Oh, I was never infected, my friend.
Yeah. Not based on this picture I got right now on the video of you, Angela. But talk to us about the article. What did you think about it and the condition, the spiraling, the downward spiral of California? It really is.
Wait a minute. What video? What picture? What are you talking about?
That's what you get for not watching the RER video YouTube channel. That's what you get.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, California. I moved there in '95. I left in '09, so 14 years actually. And even when I was there, I saw such a massive shift of socioeconomic. How illegal immigration really did take over the state and made it just awful. And I was a sub for Los Angeles Unified School District, which is, I think, the second largest district in the country. Second largest district in the country, behind New York, and I worked in low economic areas, high immigrant populations, high minority populations, all minority population, and it really struck me as I was teaching there how further and further we got to not speaking English in the class, how the black kids were just kind of shuffled aside to make way for, making sure that the illegals had everything they needed. And, it was weird to watch those two minority groups really kind of go at it. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And when I went back in March, what I was struck by, I lived in the Valley pretty much my whole time that I lived in LA. And it was, Burbank, North Hollywood, Glendale. It looks like, it is frozen in time, like early 60s architecture crumbling. It's depressing as hell. It was like pre-Castro Cuba, frozen in time. And the traffic is unspeakable. You think Houston is bad. Times 10, Houston. You literally have to plan your day around when you're going to get on the freeway. It's not an exaggeration. And, I have friends that still live in the South Bay, which is where I ended up at the end of my California trip, and they don't ever leave the South Bay because everything else is so awful. But even the South Bay is getting infected. It's awful. Don't go there.
Talking with Angela Box. Angela, the other question I had, and you were in the classroom. I want people to understand that, so that when the observations that you're making and the differences between the schools, because California is portrayed as this utopia for everything, especially when it comes to education and tolerance, when in fact the inequality in the school districts is just as bad as it would be on the Mississippi Delta. It's just as bad. And when you talk about the battle between the Hispanic kids and the black kids, is there a real enmity between those communities because of the invasion? Is that 15 years ago was it like that, and has it ramped up now? The last visit that you saw.
I think it has gotten worse. And of course, Democrats, their whole mantra is, inclusive tolerance, but actually, as you know, they seek to divide and balkanize. And that's what's really gone on in California. You have to speak English and you're called a racist. You have to, why is this community being served over the more traditional low-income community? And it's because, illegal immigrants can now vote in California pretty much, and they have a lot of babies, and they're just going to be future Democrat voters. And the black community, I don't want to say there's like an enmity between them, but what I did notice was that there was a kind of, in the Democrat Party, power brokers for either blacks or Hispanics. And it was like they were so boxed into, we're Democrats, we can't be anything else. We have to just, you know, we're going to go for the scraps that the white man gives us. It's really kind of gross, in my opinion. And it's a system of keeping people oppressed when they're supposed to be the liberators. And it's exactly the opposite, as many people who have walked away from the Democrat Party know, minorities, especially minority communities.
Angela, I saw a statistic. I can't remember it. It might have been just a column somewhere. But Californians, especially the politicos, are quick to point out California continues to grow in population. But that's not the real facts. The facts are that native-born Americans, native-born Californians, it's an exodus out of there. You can't get a U-Haul truck. You can't rent a U-Haul truck to get out of there. Their population growth is entirely by the invasion. I'm just curious, when you're talking to just common folk on the ground. See, here's the thing. A lot of people, it's kind of like New Jersey or on the East Coast. New Jersey has what's known as an exit tax. If you literally want to move out of the state, you have to pay to move out of the state. Excuse me, years ago when I was working grassroots around the nation, and I would go to a place like Ohio, and they would want to move to Texas, but they really couldn't. They were kind of serfs on the land. The taxes, the tax burdens, the property taxes would basically make them serfs of the land. They couldn't move. And I'm thinking, because of the cost of living out in California, the tax burden in California, folks can't scrape enough money together to even move out of California. They're literally enslaved in that state. Did you find that sentiment there? What do people say on the ground, Angela?
Absolutely. I was very fortunate in the fact that a great aunt of mine died, and I got a little bit of money, and literally it was just enough to be able to move. And luckily, when I got to Houston, I was able to stay with my dad for a little bit before I got a job. But, so many people are trapped by economic situations, like they cannot move. And what you were saying earlier about, I guess the thing that really bothers me, and I posted this video, and I think everyone needs to Google it or YouTube it, is what happens when Democrats run your state. And it talks about the difference between California and Texas especially. If you want to look how a state should be run, look to Texas. But you know what? The illegal immigration problem, as we know, is growing in Texas as well. So the invasion is coming here too. But the thing that always struck me the most is if you go to San Diego, and San Diego still, it's getting worse, but it's still a Republican pocket. And I mean, it's a tiny pocket of Republican. But if you look at San Diego, which is the United States border, and then you look across the border to Tijuana, it is shocking, the difference. And it's the same geography. It's the same natural resources. It's the same everything except the government and the people who live there. And California is rapidly degenerating into Mexico and third world country. It is the hyper elites, and it's everybody else, and then the dirt poor. And that's how they want it. That's why people are leaving, because you can't get ahead in California anymore if you're just a regular person, regardless of your skin tone.
I mean, it was shocking. I shared a list a couple of last week, I do believe, of the cities where $100,000 actually puts you in below the poverty line. In San Francisco, I mean, California cities were all in there. $100,000 and you end the month in the red.
Yeah.
And $8,400, about $100,000 a year is $8,400 a month. Okay, and after $8,400 a month in many of these cities, you're finishing in the red. That's the economic condition of California, and they want to boast of the 5th largest economy in the world and the possibility of succeeding from the union. They wouldn't survive a year.
Thank you, Barack Obama. But it's hard to even wrap your brain around that kind of thing. And the economic policies they're doing, unlike what we're seeing under the President Trump, which we're going to start to be able to pay down the national debt because of so much tax revenue coming in, California is not doing that at all. They are doubling down. They are promising pensions to government workers that will never, ever be able to be paid. When I left the state, I was like, should I keep my money in the California teacher system? I said, no, I'm pulling it out. And I took a big hit, but I pulled it out because I was like, I'm never going to see that money when I retire. Yeah. I'm taking it now.
Hold on. Hey, Angela, hold on. I got to go to a break. I went a little bit over there. Just hold on. We got to change the subject matter when we get back. We got to talk what we wanted to talk about last week. Okay, guys, hang around. Angela, the box that rocks. I'm going to hold her over for another segment. We missed last week with her, and it's great to hear her voice again. But she's laying it down like it truly is. There really is no contest. It's NC between California and Texas. Totally no contest. Don't cut the stream. This is Raging Elephants Radio. If you're not listening, you're not learning. I've got so much more for you. James Quintero and a video postcard from the Hot Ticket.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElephantsRadio.com.
In just a few minutes, going to be James Quintero of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. Right now, it's my girl, the box that rocks, Angela Box. Love her to death. Angela, I didn't get a chance to talk with you last week, and I know you only have a few minutes left, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. This last week that they dropped that tape. I mean, the news cycle is so quick these days. Last week they dropped this tape, Michael Cohen, Donald Trump. First of all, this guy's an absolute sleazeball. I mean, this guy's supposed to be a fixer. If you ever saw that movie Michael Clayton, I talked to people about this last last week. Michael Clayton, the movie that George Clooney plays the lead, and he plays a fixer. And the fixer has to have absolute 100% trust. That's one reason why he or she has a law degree, because whoever they're fixing for, it's attorney-client privilege to take care of all the problems. And this guy is taping his clients. Has to be more than President the Donald. What an absolute utter sleazeball. How come he hasn't been disbarred already, Angela?
Well, and I work for a lawyer, and he has said much of the same thing. He said this is turning attorney-client privilege on its ear. And whether or not it was CNN Cohen obviously, it's just gross. It's like the media is doing everything they can to try and get this guy. And Trump said nothing in these tapes that was even remotely illegal. He actually said, look, make sure it's a check so it can be traced. Like it's not, we have a paper trail of this. It is not illegal to pay off a woman you had an affair with. It's just simply not. And the fact that Michael Cohen thinks he's going to get into these people's good graces is a joke. They're going to crucify him. I cannot believe this man has not been disbarred. He has taken attorney-client privilege and just shredded it. And at first, I was confused about the whole story. I thought CNN was the one that had leaked it, but somehow someone that works for Cohen had gotten it to CNN, but it turns out it was Cohen. It's remarkable to me. Had this been any other person, this guy would have already been disbarred. But again, one rule for Democrats, one rule for the rest of us. And people are, there's a reason why people still scream, lock her up at Trump rallies. Because, damn it, this is a two-tier justice system, and we're not stupid. So Michael Cohen thinks he bought some, good time with the CNN. I don't think so. They're going to turn on him when they use him up, which is basically after about a day and a half, the way the news cycles are now. So,
the question I have, Angela, is what is Cohen being investigated for? What is he under investigation for? Do we know? I mean, taxi cab medallions? Why was his office raided? What is he under investigation for? What is the probable cause? Do you think, the more I think about it, I think somebody, even Michael Cohen himself, dropped dime to let law enforcement know, I got these tapes on Trump, or somebody dropped dime to give them permission to go in there and raid the offices of the personal attorney of the now president of the United States. Somebody, we don't even know what he's under investigation for.
No.
Why was the warrant issued?
We do not know, and now that we know that Mueller's looking at Trump's tweets for obstruction, it's like, dude, they're public tweets. Like, you've got nothing. They have nothing. And the more they go after this man, the more his base and more people are seeing this for what it is. It is a purely political assassination hit piece. Paul Manafort sitting in solitary confinement, facing 300 years, where it has nothing to do with Russia, has to do with how he, maybe tax fraud, whatever. 300 years for tax fraud, putting him in solitary confinement like he's a serial killer. This man is like 67 years old, worked for President Reagan. Bob Dole. It's like, what kind of universe are we living in where these Gestapo 1984 tactics are being used to try and flip people or get people to compose, as Judge Ellis says? It's disgusting. Michael Cohen probably said, I got nothing on this guy here. You can listen to everything to show you there's nothing here. So I don't know.
Listen, something had to happen, Angela. They knew that Michael Cohen was quote unquote Donald Trump's fixer. And they went in there. It's unconscionable, first of all, the behavior of Michael Cohen, but the behavior of law enforcement. The Southern District of New York, a Mueller or whoever it was that raided his house, raided his hotel room, raided his office, under suspicion of what?
Of what?
To this day, I have no idea what supposedly did he do wrong. Is he trafficking in drugs? Is he trafficking in child pornography? Is it just about taxi medallions? You're going to do all of that over taxi medallions? Is the taxi business really that invaluable, had that much intrinsic value? Why in the world did they raid every piece of property that he has and take every file that he has?
The other problem, of course, is that the Mueller probe has grown to such a broad extent, and Rosenstein's sitting there, signing off on everything. Rosenstein should be fired simply for the fact that he willingly signed 4 FISA warrants, knowing the evidence that was presented was not verified. That's why this guy should be fired for that alone. But yet Jeff Sessions sits there, got snookered by these people from day one because he's a Southern gentleman, and these people were so nasty to him as he came in as Attorney General, and he got played. And this probe continues to grow, and it's simply outrageous.
It is. It totally is. It's inexcusable, and I don't know, Angela. We have no business being attached to California, because when they go belly up, guess who's going to have to bail them out? And the things that are happening up in Washington, Devil City, I mean, let's just be honest about it. Our forefathers would have been shooting a long time ago. It would have been the American Revolutionary War, the Alamo, Texas Revolution, already all over again for some of these atrocities. I mean, if you go down the list of grievances of the Texas Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Declaration of Independence, we're enduring more than what they were enduring, Angela, on a daily basis. And the population is so anesthetized, I guess. They're so doped up or whatever, so anesthetized with athletics and reality TV, the Real Housewives of Pocatello, Idaho, or Omaha, Nebraska, they don't really give a rip about what's going on.
I don't know if it's that they don't give a rip. I think everyone's just bombarded. I mean, like you said, the news cycle was like, you got the attention span of a gnat at this point. It's like every 30 seconds, it's the latest outrage or the latest whatever. So people, it's like, it's keeping up. It's like, good God, when you try and have a real discussion with a Democrat on why Hillary Clinton should be in prison, and they say, well, she was exonerated, and it's like you literally have to spend 20 minutes telling them, okay, here's why she needs to be in jail. But it's either they don't care, like you said, they're anesthetized, or it's too much. It's like they're bombarded.
It's a state of denial. It's delusion. It's something. When the facts are right there staring you in the face, and the news media is just propagandists. They're Pravda. They're not helping the situation at all. I mean, it's a pathetic situation, and I'm glad that you're here to talk about it, Angela, to get it off your chest, and let me get it off my chest, and we'll continue to do so on a Friday basis. What's going on in Washington, Devil City, and locales around. So much going on outside of Texas that's just crazy, and that means it's coming here. Fantastic job, Angela. Take it easy out there. Have yourself a fantastic weekend.
Okay. You too. Talk to you soon.
I hope you feel better after you got your weekly rant off.
I feel a little better.
The box that rocks. Angela, the box that rocks. RER contributor. Talk to you later, Angela.
Bye.
Your grassroots political organization may benefit from having your own internet radio program. RagingElephantRadio.com can help you achieve that. By having your own RER program, you can personally inform your members and supporters of the top issues in your community and grow the size of your organization. Starting your own RER show isn't as hard as you think or as costly as you think. To get started, go to RagingElephantRadio.com and click the Advertise on RER button for a list of prices. Or you can email us, sales@RagingElephantRadio.com. Have your voice heard, have your own show on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Need to book a flight? Check out CheapoAir.com. CheapoAir offers you the fastest way to compare and book over 450 flights worldwide. In fact, with CheapoAir, you can travel out and back on 2 different airlines to get a better deal on flights to more than 2,000 destinations across the globe. You can even look at alternate dates and airports to see if their low fares can get any lower. Plus, CheapoAir gives you the freedom to change your travel plans within 24 hours of booking. If something comes up, just give them a call. They'll take it from there. CheapoAir makes it easy to save. Search their site, select your flight, and book, just like that. Your next trip is just a phone call, app search, or website visit away. Plus, with CheapoAir, you can book with confidence, because with CheapoAir's best price guarantee, you know you're getting the very best deal every time. Thinking flights? Think CheapoAir.
Visit CheapOair through the RER Marketplace. Girls, I know the
the one place where you are guaranteed to find a great guy. You know, the kind of guy that carries you off on horseback and flies you to Paris and likes to talk about his feelings. He's at the movies. Well, in the movies. Where else will you find a funny architect with airbrushed abs? Girls are lining up for guys like this, but not you, because you bought your tickets ahead on Fandango. So adios, long lines, and hello, handsome astronaut, brain surgeon, spy.
Make a date with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Family night at the movies is a tradition. It really bonds us together. I love you guys so much, especially this one. I mean, of course, there's all the, his popcorn's bigger than mine, and she's hitting me. Fandango makes it all so easy with tickets in advance. Honey, you enjoy the chick flick? Kids, you enjoy the animated movie? Daddy's gonna go watch things go boom. That's how we do family movie night.
Bring your family closer together with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Visit Fandango through the RER Marketplace.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
His name is H. Scott Apley. He's a brand new Raging Elephants radio broadcast activist. You can hear him nightly at 8 p.m. and the next morning at 8 a.m. So whether you're on kind of working the night shift, you can launch the Raging Elephants radio app and check out H. Scott Apley, Youth Infusion to the RER broadcast activist lineup. Or if you're commuting in the morning, change up the pace a little bit. 8 a.m. Launch the Raging Elephants radio app and check out Scott Apley. Still don't have a nickname for him. And I'm ashamed to say I don't have a nickname yet for JQ, James Quintero. He heads up local governance for the Texas Public Policy Foundation. JQ, welcome back, man. It's been quite some time. Glad to have you back. My bad. It's been my bad. I've been kind of like doing the neglecting thing, man, so I apologize. Welcome back, James Quintero.
Well, thanks for having me, Claver. It's always a pleasure, and not to worry, for the last month or so, I've actually been out on sabbatical, so even if you wanted to, you probably couldn't reach me.
Sabbatical. I certainly can't spell it. It's got too many syllables, and so therefore I don't even know what that is. Sabbatical. Gee, what is that? JQ, there's a couple of issues that we want to talk about today. Let's save the property tax for segment number 2. I'm kind of chomping at the bit to hear what you have to say when it comes to paid sick leave, I do believe. You come up with these topics that get overlooked by the usual rank and file activists. That's why the Texas Public Policy Foundation does what it does. Take us, what's going on? What's your report about sick leave?
Sure. So across the country, actually, there's a movement afoot being pushed by the far left to do all of these very nanny state-like policies at the local level. And paid sick leave is kind of this part of the package that they're pushing. Other elements include like the $15 minimum wage, some of the other union stuff, and paid sick leave is one of those ideas that the left has that government should step in between the employer and the employee relationship and mandate that employees receive a certain number of paid sick leave days, which in the past has generally been up to the employee to negotiate with their employer.
A mandatory European style 30 days a month, 30 days a year or something like that. Government mandated is what you're talking about.
Exactly. And so you have a number of large urban areas in Texas, places like Austin, San Antonio, Dallas. All of their city councils are entertaining these kinds of mandates. In fact, Austin has already adopted theirs, so they're the furthest along. And they credit places like Seattle and San Francisco for influencing the direction of their ordinance. And I believe they're in San Antonio, they just got the required number of signatures to put it up for a vote in November. So San Antonio could become the second city in Texas to adopt that particular policy. And then again, you have other cities that are entertaining this. But going back to Austin's ordinance, Austin is always one of the furthest out there when it comes to progressive policies. They require employers with 15 or fewer employees to provide 48 hours of mandatory paid sick leave time. And again, that's less.
How much?
48 hours. So that's 6 full 8-hour days. If you're larger than 15 employees, then you have to provide 64 hours to everyone in your company. And so these are days that you can use them effectively, 10 minutes before your shift is supposed to begin, right? And so this is, as someone who grew up in the restaurant industry, I can imagine all of the various ways that this is going to go wrong. So there's a kind of a lack of accountability built into the system. It really puts the employer in a bind because it's going to drive up costs. Employees, we had a gentleman from the county line come out here not too long ago, and he said that for his restaurant here in the Austin area, it was going to cost an additional $200,000 for his mid-sized restaurant. So we're talking very substantial costs.
And the accounting for those costs. So let's say it is a restaurant, and you have a full-time bartender, and the bartender or the cook or the executive chef at the last minute decides to take a number of these days off for whatever reason. They don't have to come with a doctor's note or anything like that. What are the costs, the business costs associated with that? Must that employer get a tip, or is it just lost productivity losses in business because service is going to be downgraded? It's not going to be as good. How the numbers lost? Where is that figure coming from, JQ?
Yes to all of the above. It really puts the employer in a bind, not only in terms of cost, but also productivity. Because like you just pointed out, if that bartender is calling in, 30 minutes to an hour outside of his shift when he's supposed to start his shift, what then does the manager do? Well, he's going to have to shift his employees around, and perhaps he doesn't have as many servers out there on the floor working the tables, or he has to step in himself and fill that role. They're going to have to do some creative things, and again, I think this affects the restaurant industry in a particularly nefarious way, where it's bad policy. Not to mention the exorbitant costs.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, the city council is now attacking one of the crown jewels of the city and the county's culture, the restaurant business. That's one of the things it's known for internationally, not just for the music, but for the cuisine. People travel. I mean, I was in Austin a couple of weeks ago and got sick again. But one of the great things about going to Austin is that, around every corner is a pretty decent restaurant or a food truck. That's what it's known for. And here's the city council and the government attacking one of its most vibrant and particularly important revenue sources and streams.
No, you're on target. And here's the worst part. I think a lot of businesses don't even know this is coming because what ended up happening is in mid-January, one of the probably the furthest left city council member we have here in Austin, Greg Kassar, made this ordinance publicly available. He put it up online, and in less than 30 days, he basically got the Democrat Socialists of America to come down and pound on the desk at a hearing in which the ordinance was both introduced and adopted. So this happened with lightning-like speed. Because
the city charter allows something like this, a dictate from the city council like this, because you mentioned as far as SA was concerned, they were getting signatures to put it on the ballot. The city council isn't trying to do a dictate there, are they? Do they have the power to do that?
So here in Austin, I think our city charter is structured a little bit differently to allow for city council to make that kind of move. In San Antonio, I think they're a little bit more hesitant because after all of the dust settled and people in the policy world recognized what the city of Austin had done, groups like the Texas Public Policy Foundation said, no, this is not just bad policy, guys. This is actually contrary to state law. And so we launched a lawsuit against the city of Austin in May, which I think gave other city councils pause. Now they're still allowing the petition process to go to play out in other cities, but they themselves are kind of a little bit squeamish on taking action. Now, where we think from a legal perspective, this kind of policy it runs afoul of the law, is that if you look at the definition of how a minimum wage is prescribed, right? It includes both wages as well as benefits in the computation. And state law effectively says, city governments, you cannot prescribe a minimum wage for your local economies. You have to follow what the federal minimum wage is. And because cities are requiring employers to pay employees for days not worked, if you look at the final aggregate number, that actually pushes that minimum wage figure above the threshold. And so in our estimation, it's a violation of state law to force employers to observe this paid sick leave ordinance. And we're making that case in court right now. In fact, we're asking the Third Court of Appeals to issue a temporary injunction so that we can stall this thing long enough for our guys to take action next legislative session. This has been made a priority by state officials and guys at the very top. I think we're going to have some good success, but we need to try and pump the brakes on Austin's ordinance in the meantime.
Very good. And you do believe that this is going to be, if not a legislative priority, there are several legislators that are already on board with battling this with the proper legislation come January 2019.
There are a number of legislators right now who are absolutely eager to take a crack at this because they recognize that it's not only a preemption issue, another issue where cities are ignoring state law, but it's bad policy across the board and it's going to hurt small business.
How crazy. The bathroom bill is going to kill small business, but a couple of weeks of paid sick leave, mandatory, it's just crazy. James Quintero will be right back. We're going to talk property taxes when we get back with James Quintero. He heads up the local Center for Local Governance, Texas Public Policy Foundation. When it comes to property taxes, this is a guy that knows exactly what he's talking about. If you're not listening, you're not learning. So don't cut the stream. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporter of causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Don't forget on Sunday, Saints and Patriots, beginning at 12 midnight Sunday morning, it's RER Cross. Some fantastic Christian music, as diverse as Texas, and then the Bible teachings of Pastor Edwin Guerra, Pastor Keenan Smith, and Pastor Stephen Broden, who also happens to be an RER contributor. There's a reason to listen to Raging Elephants Radio every day. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, the final chapter with Chip Darby. Saturday morning programming. On the line with me right now, the RER conversation line is James Quintero of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. It's a conservative, liberty-driven think tank. It's sort of our version of the Cato Institute. They do some fantastic work. And James has been a good friend of Raging Elephants Radio and others, Dr. Vance Ginn, Ron Hennike, those guys, fantastic people at TPPF. If you have a chance to go there and take a tour of their facilities, I don't know if they charge for their tours. They didn't charge me when I had a tour. They didn't charge me. I sort of like, we take the old Astrodome tour or the Minute Maid Park tour. It's just as spectacular, their offices. I'm really envious. I'm jealous. JQ, I didn't get a chance to say this before we cut off from the last break. This whole mandatory paid sick leave reminds me of another initiative that is just as onerous, just as stinky. The idea coming out of Washington, Devil City about mandatory paid family leave. Thank you, Mrs. Kushner. There are those that very much are in the president's corner, and when he does things that are conservative, pat him on the back. When he doesn't, I think intellectual honesty and purity of ideology requires us to criticize. And I do so, of course, without shame. I'm going to try to pull people more and more to the right. And if criticism is the way to do it, to apply that pressure, then I'm going to try to get very good at my craft. And that's what that reminds me of. This push to put these government mandates on not just individuals but corporations, and just violations of anything and everything that liberty stands for. And it's emanating. I mean, it's emanating out of the administration. The whole family leave thing is, an Ivanka Trump initiative. They campaigned on it. And this is how you get this incremental socialistic leftist creep. You'll get good things in one area. Let's say the tax cuts, the slashing of regulations. But something that is equally, if not more onerous, is unleashed in another area, such as the combining of the Departments of Education and Labor, or the potential of mandatory family leave. So the vigilance has to continue, does it not, James?
Absolutely. In some of these cases, I think the intent is pure. But it comes from a place that misunderstands the purpose of government. For us here at the foundation, what we like to say is that the purpose of government is to preserve and promote life, liberty, and property rights. And if you're not doing those things in your official capacity, then you're probably not doing things that are going to ultimately help the public. So when it comes to things like paid sick leave, those are things that should be negotiated between an individual and an employment prospect, right? I mean, this is a relationship that is best not interfered with by government. And the reason being is that
it's as bad as Obamacare. It's the same ideology. It's the same mindset. We're going to make you do something. We're going to make you offer a benefit. If a corporation can't afford or doesn't want to offer corporate companies supplied insurance, that's their prerogative. That's part of their calculation of how competitive they're going to be to get the best talent out there. And the same thing with the paid sick leave or paid family leave to take care of someone that's sick. That's a great benefit for individual corporations that potentially can afford it and can offer those types of benefits to consider and put in part of their benefits package plan. Smaller companies, even the smallest mandate puts a choke on them that makes it virtually impossible for them to survive. Your last word on this, JQ, and let's get on to property taxes. That just struck me is we still have these other initiatives just called by a different name that's going to have the same destructive end result.
You're right. And here's the thing that frustrates me, because the city of Austin rammed through this ordinance without any real discussion or deliberation. They didn't have time to do any kind of economic cost and benefit analysis. So they actually rammed it through without knowledge of how it's going to affect employers in the city of Austin. Now, just because they didn't have the wherewithal to know what the cost was doesn't mean that some other outside folks didn't try to put numbers in front of them. In fact, the Austin Chamber of Commerce put together their own analysis and found that this ordinance, as written, is going to cost the the Austin employers $140 million annually every year in perpetuity. This is a huge mandate, and it's going to drive up prices for consumers. It's going to slow down the economy.
That's a huge chunk out of the economy. 140 million being gobbled up over a government mandate. That's enormous. Enormous.
And so it's stuff like this that really motivates our work here at the foundation. These things are they're not well thought out, both from an economic perspective as well as a legal perspective. Yeah.
It fits the narrative of utopia. If it fits the narrative of utopia, if it fits the narrative of government is good, do no harm, then they're all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Property taxes, JQ. What's up with property taxes? You're always on it. The level of property tax local debt in Texas, folks who don't know, it's astounding. It's shocking. It's immoral, the level of local debt that Texas is holding, and most citizens don't even know about it. The last time we talked, it had surpassed $300 billion. I'm sure it's maybe a little bit higher than that, because there's been some more ISD bond elections, I'm sure, JQ. What's your report now on property taxes? Because we don't have private property until property taxes are repealed and prohibited in the Lone Star State.
So we're going to make our strongest push yet to eliminate property taxes in the next legislative session.
Yay!
I think that the sides are lining up such that there's interest from both left, right, and middle on how do we reform the system? How do we get this situation under control? For those of us on the right, I think we recognize that property taxes are feeding an ever-growing beast at the local level. They're contributing to an environment of excess where you have all kinds of silly examples of local government waste. For those on the left, I think there's an appeal to tackle property tax reform because there's an affordability crisis that is forcing hardship on low and middle income families.
Widows.
If you look here in the Austin area, what has been absolutely astounding to me is that the Austin School District continues, I think it's the 7th year in a row now, continues to lose student enrollment. That's because families in the Austin area can't afford to live here, and they're fleeing for the hills. They're fleeing for all of the suburbs that surround Austin.
Hey, JQ, I had Mike Lee on. I don't know if you've ever met Mike Lee. Mike Lee is he does engagement for Travis GOP. He did it under James Dickey when Dickey was Travis GOP chair, and he has a TV show on public access called Right Talk with Mike Lee. It's Monday nights right after Slow Pokey, James Ritter's TV program. And I had him on my program, and he said something that I thought was extremely profound. He said, from his perspective, the gentrification and everything of Austin, they're trying to make Austin a Monaco, where only the absolute rich can live there. Everybody is getting driven out. The people of color are going to have to leave because even in a low rent area, it's going to still be too expensive. They're going to be plopping up these new renovated flats and condos and the whole 9 yards. Mike says they're trying to make it a Monaco. That's what if you're moderate income or lower income, you will not be able to live there.
I think that's 100% on target. What frustrates me to no end is to watch the mayor and the city council talk out of one side of their mouth about the problems that we have with affordability, and then through the other side of their mouth, they create new mandates, they raise taxes, they increase fees, they do everything that you would think is going to hurt the average homeowner. And so, left, right, and middle, I think all agree on the problem. What solution we see next session? Well, I'm always aiming for that eliminate property tax bill. But I think at a minimum, what we see come out of the legislature next session is a bill to control the rate of increases, right? Everybody is frustrated with how fast taxes are growing. They're far outpacing income or population and inflation. What we need to do is control the rate of increase so that we can begin to force a little bit more accountability on the local level and let everybody catch their breath.
The legislative priority, it was put to a test at the ballot in the 2018 GOP primary, the largest voting bloc in the Lone Star State. And the bosses of the state said, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Now, I watched a debate in the SREC about what ballot referendum were going to be included in the GOP primary of 2018, and it was sort of crazy to have to eliminate the property tax non-binding referendum, and also the referendum on the growth rate. Well, what do you want? Why are you going to have the referendum on the growth rate when you have a referendum here that says you want to eliminate it altogether? And the GOP platform, once again, in 2018 says the elimination of property taxes. We don't have private property in the state until you eliminate property taxes. And so the incremental, first of all, I hope that there's enough legislators these days that see this as a political plus, that there is a way to get it done. That's the first thing, right? But then, but when you talk about the battles over property taxes, I just want to confirm something from last session. The battle between the Senate and the House over property taxes, property tax relief, was the number $200 million in total Texas state property tax relief. Is that what I heard Dan Patrick say at his press conference? That they were trying to save $200 million in property taxes. Was that the number, or was it larger?
I don't recall that particular. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure the exact figure.
Okay. I always wondered about that, because I was wondering if he misspoke, or he surely he meant 200 billion. He didn't mean 200 million in property taxes.
Yeah.
Surely he didn't mean 2 J.J. Watt contracts. As far as property tax relief.
And again, you're testing the memory of an old man. But if I go back into the
I'm older than you are. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that mess.
I think what he was referring to was the average savings for a homeowner over like a 10 or 20 year period, and that maybe it was on the order of $200,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood. But where I think we have an advantage this session is if you look back at the last legislative session, sure, we didn't get the job done, but we got a good bill out of the Senate and we got a decent bill out of the House. So we proved, and of course, things fell apart at the end. They couldn't find compromise.
Right.
But we proved to the body that not only is this a good idea, but it's achievable in some sense. And so when we come back the next session, I think we're going to have both the political will, because there's a lot of people around the state who are pissed. And then we're going to be able to draw from last session's experience and say, let's get this done, guys. This is for the future of Texas. If you look at
to get rid of if they just did it, I mean, even if you don't argue it from a liberty perspective, okay, if you just argue it from the perspective of the type of wealth that would be unleashed in the state of Texas, the economic boom that it would absolutely launch in this state. I mean, I don't understand how even the moderates are the leftists. Well, the statists are going to be the statists. But I don't even understand how even Straussian moderates, people in the so-called middle, the free enterprise rhinos, the plutocrats of the state, JQ, could deny that argument. They could. How do they stiff arm that argument? The economic wealth that would be unleashed in the state if you got rid of the property tax. 30 seconds, JQ.
Well, it's undeniable. If you did that, you would literally be the only state in the nation without a property tax, without an income tax, and we're moving towards the elimination of the margin tax. You would actually probably have to build a border wall along Texas's northern border to keep everybody out. That's how popular economically we would become.
Oh, Lord Jesus, from his mouth to your ears. Love you, JQ.
Thanks, Claver.
Have a great weekend, man. You and your wonderful family. Don't cut the stream. Tina's postcard is coming up next. Tina's video postcard from the Greek Isles. You don't want to miss it. It's crazy. She's crazy. Tina's crazy.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
TV and radio are great mediums for mass instruction, but for those times when you just want to hold something in your hands, there is the Damn Good Times. I still love the newspaper, but I'm tired of the liberal bias. That's why I reach for the Damn Good Times. Always full of interesting stories and great information, and you can have it delivered to your doorstep by calling 281-332-5710 or sending an email to news@thedamngoodtimes.com. Just $50 a year will get a full subscription. It's a great gift for all the patriots you know. Do it now.
Miss Capelli?
Yes, I'd like to be on a commercial.
And what will you be advertising?
GoDaddy.com. Oh my gosh. It's a website where you can register .com names for only $7.95 a year.
And what exactly will you be doing on this commercial?
I could do a routine where I went like this.
Oh.
Surely by now you must realize that you're upsetting the committee.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset the committee.
May I suggest a turtleneck?
Visit GoDaddy.com to the RER Marketplace.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
I'm finishing strong on today's program, so be sure to stay all the way through to the end of the program. I'm finishing strong. I actually had some video footage from the Morning Morons over at BSNBC. Crazy things they were saying this morning. Crazy. I had to go and capture the video and share it with you. Well, it's usually time for the hot ticket, the TMB, the TNT, Tina Moody Bryan, RER contributor for pop culture. But she's like in Europe somewhere. And so I got a video postcard from the TNT, from the hot ticket. And I've got to share it with you. Because as usual, if it's the hot ticket, it's something crazy. Just listen and make of it what you will.
Okay, y'all, so I got to tell you something funny that happened yesterday. When we were in Santorini, there was some protesters. They were protesting about the donkeys. You know, I showed y'all a video of where in order to get up to Santorini to go shopping and eat and stuff like that, you either have to walk 588 steps or ride the cable car or ride donkeys. So apparently there were protesters, and there were not people that actually live on the island. They were shipped in, or however they got here. They were paid for by someone else. We learned this by speaking to some of the business owners while we were shopping there. But anyway, they're protesting. They are saying that Americans and Australians are causing pain and injury to the donkeys because apparently we are too fat to ride the donkeys. Now, please, y'all know I love animals and I don't want to see animals hurt and all that kind of thing. But the locals here were laughing about this whole situation, saying that they're making a bunch of stuff up and you know, making something seem worse than it is. Now, I don't know. I saw the donkeys, you know, going up, carrying people up. I don't recall seeing anybody that was, you know, extremely large on a donkey, but I didn't get that close, so I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I just think it's kind of humorous that it doesn't matter where you are, all over this world, there's going to be schmuck behavior done by some people who don't like the things that are going on. And what really cracked me up is that the local people were cracking up about this, and they were saying it's ridiculous and these people need to go on and get out of here and leave us alone and let us do our business, and you know, it's just the way we make a living, and the donkeys have been doing this for years and years and years and years. So I just thought it was kind of funny. And by the way, they love American people here. They love Americans because Americans are friendly and Americans like to spend money. So I thought that was very interesting too. So anyway, we're wrapping up our vacation here, and let me turn this around so y'all can see. How do I do this? Oh. Maybe y'all can see. I hope y'all can see. Did y'all see? Anyway, we're wrapping up our vacation here, and our next stop will be Naples and then on to Rome. So I'll be making more videos, and thanks for watching, and we miss y'all, and we'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Tina. Yeah, even in Greece, the jackasses act like jackasses. You got people showing up saying the Americans are too fat. Y'all need to go on a diet, you Americans out there. You need to go on a diet. You're breaking the back of the jackasses over in Greece. Look, donkeys, burros. That's what they were bred to do. What are you talking about? I mean, unless you're the size of like Refrigerator Perry or somebody. I mean, Tina, Lord have mercy. I miss Tina. I've got some more video for you when I come back. Raging Elephants Radio, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. We miss you, Hot Ticket. We love you. The happiest happy hour on the H-Town West Side. Introducing the Texas Tea Tavern. Texas Tea. The longest happy hour. 12 noon to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. $3.75 domestic drafts. $8 domestic pitchers. $4 wells. $5 grapies for the ladies. Texas Tea. Texas Tea is the West Side after-work chill-out place. They have this massive door that opens up to a relaxed lawn and patio. Day or night, this time of year, it's marvelous for sipping in convo. Texas Tea. Video poker tournaments all through the week. Tuesday, Texas Trivia. Wednesday, bring your axe. It's open jam night. Live music every Saturday night on the huge stage. Karaoke Sunday nights. Texas Tea. Mud bugs could be boiling in the outdoor kitchen. If you're hungry, the classy food cart on the newly paved parking lot serves $3 tacos that are big as your head. Texas Tea. A safe place for ladies to venture solo. Open every night until 2 a.m. Texas Tea. Easy to find. 1535 Brickmore, a stone's throw from City Center. You may see me there. Get more info. Click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
I was the executive chef for a very large conference in Washington, and the product came out in a large quantity so perfectly. I just had such a great experience with the interactions with everybody at Vital Choice.
The very first time that I ordered from Vital Choice, I messed up and I put my wrong address. I put my street address correctly, but the wrong zip code. And my order of salmon, of wild salmon, sat in a distribution center in Newark, New Jersey for a long weekend. And so needless to say, when it arrived, at that point it had melted. And I called up Vital Choice and they sent me the same shipment immediately, no charge, and it was delicious. And it was my fault. I messed it up. And even though I messed it up, you guys were very, very kind to me.
My wife served me Ventresca, Vital Choice, and I felt the difference. I mean, this unctuosity, as we say in French, that you cannot have in other canned tuna or sardines.
Everything tasted real, and I'm mostly vegetarian except for salmon, and I had been, and then when I saw, oh my goodness, salmon, that's so delicious, I thought everything tastes so fresh. I really believe that this place is the real deal.
I met you at the American Academy of Anti-Aging. I lived on your fish. I didn't have to go anywhere for lunch. In fact, you were the only good lunch in town anyway. And it was fantastic how you use the cookery and you get rid of, really basically get rid of any little fat. You can get all flavor in there, the dill and everything else. Fantastic. And so I've learned to tell everybody this is simply the best product you can ever find.
Visit Vital Choice Wild Seafood and Organics through the RER Marketplace.
Will advertising on Raging Elephants Radio help your business?
Hello, my name is Galen Beatty at Beatty AC and Heating. I advertise on RagingElephantsRadio.com, and I'd urge you to do the same. Small and large business owners, if you want a really affordable way to get your name, products, and services to a large audience of consumers, I'd advertise on RER.
Ask about our double value package. You'll love it. Easy, affordable, effective. Email RERads@RagingElephantsRadio.com. That's RERADS at RagingElephantsRadio.com. Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElephantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running as part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElephantsRadio.com. info@RagingElephantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Texas-centric radio for Texans in the know. RagingElephantsRadio.com.
A little bit earlier, I shared with you some numbers this TV's most trusted news brands. MSDNC came in 5th place after Bloomberg. I don't understand why. But of the 4,000 plus TV viewers that they surveyed, what is this number here? A little bit over 60% said they're a trustworthy news site. Unbelievable. Maybe the reason is for the video that I'm about to share with you. This was this morning, following President Trump's Pennsylvania campaign-style rally last night. I really couldn't believe my ears. Maybe this is why their popularity is somewhere down there around ISIS somewhere. From the Morning Joe program, or the Morning Morons, as I call them. You know, I'm sorry about the Facebook Live video stream, and RER video channel YouTube is dropping frames here and there. But I promise we're going to make this an RER video clip and get it up to all the social media. I promise that. But if you missed this, because I know you don't want to throw up your breakfast in the morning, this is why I'm letting you see this and letting you hear this, so that you know that you are in your right mind, that you have no business accepting insanity for the approval of the insane. Moron Mika's first.
Willie, what did you think of the president last night? What was just your gut watching him?
I thought two things. I thought, first of all, it was extraordinary that a couple of hours after his entire national security apparatus appeared in the White House briefing room laying out chapter and verse how Russia continues to interfere in our elections, that the president then went out at that rally and called it a Russian hoax.
Yep.
And reportedly he sent those people out as director of national intelligence and the FBI director. I also just thought it was sort of another pathetic grievance session, airing his grievances, talking about how unfairly he's treated by the press. And I wondered what it would be like if he spent the time and energy he spends on that, focusing on things like clean water in Flint or visiting troops in a war zone, for example. It just strikes me as a monumental waste of time for a president of the United States to go on and on and on one or two subjects that he can't get past.
And hammering the media.
But as a political story, right, this is just, it's not just red meat, it's red raw meat for for the 35% that is the core Trump base. He's in a state where he's got a Senate candidate who's trailing. He's not in a super strong position, is not going to win Pennsylvania by appealing to that 35%. He's got to be talking about other things. But what's he not talking about? He's not talking about the economy. He's not talking about any things that actually matter to the Pennsylvania voters who are going to determine that election. And so, great to rev up the base. He's very good at that. He's proven that over and over again. But this message and the grievance fest that it is does nothing to expand the voter pool that's going to be drawn on by Lou Barletta or by candidates across the country.
And then we have this other government, this other ring in our national circus in which the president conducts a daily anti-elitist rant. The principal targets are people in the media. I hate to say it, but we're the best thing he's got going for him. He doesn't have a lot of other issues besides rousing the public to think that we are in some way elitist, to use his phrase, enemies. But he's making us the central theme of his campaign. We just have to see that right in the eyes. But it is as if, Mika, they're two separate rings to this circus now.
Yeah, and John Meacham, is there anybody in history, a figure in history, that parallels what's happening with this president?
I think it's Joe McCarthy. Yeah, I think this is as if McCarthy had become president, to go to John's point about it getting old.
Susan Del Percio, and then Donnie. What's your gut?
Well, the first thing I thought of it, listening again to all his falsehoods, is, wow, this is really why his attorneys, President Trump's attorneys, do not want him to go in front of Robert Mueller. Right. Because he just gets all revved up, and he simply cannot tell the truth in front of Mueller.
Donnie.
The saddest and most frightening thing to me when Trump is at these rallies is actually not Trump himself, it's the people. You know, there was an amazing statistic.
Well, people are excited to meet the President of the United States.
Well, it's not just, yes, excited is a nice word, but the rigor with which they accept his information. CBS News had an amazing poll that was stunning, that of people who define themselves as strong Trump supporters, 90% of people who say their information they get from Trump they believe is accurate, where 60% they get from their friends or family they believe is accurate, and 10% from the media. Let's think about it again. Those people in that audience, because we're going to have to describe them as strong Trump supporters, if their friend or family member told them something, they're less likely to believe it than that goofball up there, than Crazy Uncle Donnie. And going back to the two governments that David brought up, we have Crazy Uncle Donnie. There's the government that exists, and we now have this figure that we continue to have completely unaccountable to even his own staff. It doesn't, and there's no repercussion. So we will talk this day today and say Dan Coates and Chris Wray and John Bolton came out and said this is a fact, it was a fact, and is a fact, and then their boss gets up on stage and says it's not. So we've got Crazy Uncle Donnie talking to his base that stunningly, regardless of what he says, will continue to go, but the voters will speak in November.
They will.
And 33, 34%. Yes, a lot of them vote in the primary, but there will be a wave the likes of which we've never seen before.
So my take is this, it's blunt, fair to say, but I've been there before and I did it when it wasn't cool to do, and I'm going to do it again. He's not well. That's the bottom line. There's no way anyone who knows Donald Trump, but is not bought in some way, could watch him last night and not come away with a feeling that the President of the United States is completely unhinged and getting worse by the day. Perhaps the stress is really squeezing in on him. It's interesting that a former reality TV star and colleague of Trump is releasing a book with the title, Unhinged. And this is a woman who knew him during his reality show days very well, and then went with him to the White House. And in it, she describes a reaction to a man that she had known for over a decade, who is in the state of mental decline. It's a concern that we've voiced on this show during the campaign and over the last tumultuous 18 months. Try and find someone who's not politically invested or too fearful of Donald Trump or the Republican Party, who knew the man a decade ago, who will tell you that his mental state has not deteriorated radically over the past few years or changed or come out in some way. It is transforming what we're watching. You will not find that person from Donald Trump's past if they're telling you the truth. We were told of his unfitness for office by those closest to him on the campaign, and we saw it ourselves up close in the December 2015 interview in which he first pledged his fealty to Vladimir Putin. Now, let me tell you, you can pull that interview up, and it's a little embarrassing, but I will say you can see in our faces in real time us kind of going from jovial and fun to sitting up and listening to him and realizing this guy's not right. And this is bad what's happening here. And we showed you this person throughout the campaign, and we pointed out those issues. You listened to him talk about Russia during the campaign on this show. We were told repeatedly that it was somehow out of bounds to comment on the candidate's declining mental state. And yes, I'm not a doctor, but I know what I see, and we know Donald Trump. We also know what campaign staffers told us 2 years ago, and I know that the dangerous, blustering bigot on the stage last night is even more boorish and less connected to reality than he was 10 years ago. Donald Trump is not well, and everyone close to him says it. They're all scared of what he's going to say or tweet next. His Republican dupes know it, and yet no one, seemingly, will do anything about it. Not the people who can. Same as it ever was, but much more precarious right now for the media, the press, far more dangerous for our democracy.
Meek, I just want to jump on that for a second. It's interesting because that popped back in my head last night also. And I, a few months ago, watched an hour-long interview I did with him in 2007. His cadence, his eyes, he was a different guy. And I would ask everybody to go and look at some old interviews with Donald Trump. He's not just younger. His entire mannerisms, his entire way of speaking is different. So I'm glad you brought that up because it's easy. We all kicked that around for a long time.
Watch our reaction.
And then it became
the
kind
page
of the norm.
turns.
But yeah,
the worm
he
turns.
is. I'm so glad you brought that up because that is an ongoing I think at this point almost to give it when you watch this man's behavior.
All right. Well, that is where we're at. Got a sense from everybody.
That's where it's gone to, Saints and Patriots, to the point where they're literally just calling the man straight up insane. He's mentally insane. And they're mentally insane. That's why their numbers are so low. I'm sorry I had to put you through that. And there's so much to talk about on that. But that was all the product of his rally in Pennsylvania last night. That's all they've got left. When it gets to the point where they're attacking your mental health, they're saying you're crazy. You're crazy, Uncle Donnie. His name is Donnie, by the way, too. Donnie Deutsch. That's all you got left? There's so much to break down on that. The Morning Morons. Mika. Miss Mika. If anybody is insane, it's the mouthpieces for BS NBC. Just remember, Saints and Patriots, I don't know about you. I don't know what you say, but this is what I say. I am not going to accept insanity for the approval of the insane. That's why I have absolutely no reservations about being as ferocious as I am when it comes to attacking the statists, when it comes to attacking the left, the anti-Christians. What's the point in holding anything back? They want to call us crazy. If they're calling Donald Trump crazy, then they're calling all of those who voted for him crazy, the Republican dupes, as moron Mika put it. Half of that creepy couple. The other half of the creepy couple was on vacation or something. He was away. They're taking separate vacations, the creepy couple? Is that what's going on? I'm out of here. I enjoyed the week. It was fantastic. I got a birthday party to go to tonight. Happy birthday, Jasmine. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome call me the purifier, and I like it. From Houston, the most racially diverse city in the world. Little factoid for you. May the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the future independent sovereign republic of Texas.